Did you know that God has a specific design for women? We've been learning in middle school about the series of design, which is explaining God's design and purpose for men and women. The first week we talked about God's design for men, which is headship, or arranging things for others thriving. And this week in middle school we talked about God's design and purpose for women. And we can find this in Genesis 2:18, which says, "The Lord God said, 'It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him.'" So from that verse, we learn that God's design and purpose for women is to be a helper. A helper is influencing others to be their best. And what I love about being a helper is that it can start right now for you as a middle school girl. Being a helper doesn't mean that you have to be a certain age or in a certain relationship, or you have to be married, or you have to wait till you're older. You can be a helper right now, even as a middle school girl. And the Bible talks about all sorts of women who were helpers in various areas of their life. You have the story of Deborah, who was a powerful leader in Israel. You have the story of Miriam, who was a teenage girl and the teenage sister to Moses, who protected him when he was a baby. And then you have the story of Ruth, who was faithful and obedient to her mother-in-law even after Ruth's husband died. And what I love is the Bible can show us so many different ways that women can be helpers, even when they're in areas of influence and power, or even when they're just living their everyday, regular, normal lives. And what's also great about being a helper is that when we are helpers to others, we are showing how God is a helper to us. There are so many Bible verses that talk about how God is our helper and how He's there for us. And when we as women and as girls continue to help others, we're showing others how God is a helper to us and a helper for us. So for my middle school girls, I would just encourage you this week to think about what are some areas of your life where you can be a helper or where you can start being a helper. And I'd also encourage you to think about how you can continue or start to influence others to be their best.